Good evening, everybody. At this time, please silence your cell phones and be advised these proceedings are being recorded. For those physically present in the council chambers who desire to address the City Council during the meeting, please complete the request to speak form available at the front entrance of the council chamber and present it to the city clerk. Speakers physically present and participating via Zoom will be called upon at an appropriate time. Each person is allowed 3 minutes of speaking time. I'm going to go and call this meeting to order Tuesday, April 9th at the year 2024 at 6 p.m. Tonight we'll be closing in the honor of Jacqueline Smith. She is someone of the Grand Terrace celebrity with her husband, Jimbo from K-Cal Rocks. She just passed away the other day, so a beautiful singer. You know, I remember her singing during Veterans Day. But our thoughts and our prayers are with Jimbo and the family and their friends, and so we'll be honoring her tonight. And the invocation will be given by Pastor Josue from Centerpoint Church, and the Pledge of Allegiance be given by John Gallo. So please stand, Pastor Josue.
I think I'm on. Yeah. If I can, I'd like to read a passage. The psalmist David wrote these words in Psalm 37. He said, "Trust in the Lord and do good. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in him, and he will do it." So, God, we thank you so much for your goodness and your grace, God, that you have given us so freely. And Lord, as this meeting comes to order, I pray that your spirit would settle over this place. I pray that you would be with each council member who is here this evening, Lord. Those who are watching online or participating online, I pray that you be with them as well. God, I pray that you would be with each and every person who intends to speak this evening, those who are listening, those who are supporting, God. I pray that each and every thought that is had this evening, every word that's spoken, every decision that's made, Lord, be made in a way that honors and glorifies you. There is enough division and hatred and anger in the world, Lord, and that is the last thing we need in this place tonight, God. So I pray for unity and humility in this place tonight, God, that Grand Terrace would be a beacon for the surrounding cities, states, and our nation as a whole, Lord, of what it is to honor and glorify you. So, Lord, we pray for your spirit to settle once again. Lord, we trust in you. We commit our ways to you, Lord, and we delight in you in this place tonight. We love you, and we pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please place your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Josue. Thank you, John. Okay. There's no AB 2449 disclosure. Madam City Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Henderson.
Present.
Councilmember Allen.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson.
I am here.
Mayor Hussey.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Item B, public comment. This is an opportunity for members of the public to comment on any items not appearing on the regular agenda because of restrictions contained in California law. The City Council may not discuss or act on any item not on the agenda, but may briefly respond to statements made or ask questions for clarifications. The mayor may also request a brief response from staff to questions raised during the public comment, or may request the matter be agendized for future meetings. Madam City Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Jenna Slocum.
Hi, good evening. Oops. I have two in there. Can I do them both at the same time or no?
No, ma'am. You're,
So which one am I doing first?
Weeds.
Okay. I live in the neighborhood behind Stater Brothers, that whole shopping area, and there's that big empty lot between Stater Brothers and the J.C. Wallace house, which has been habitually overgrown, full of trash. I've always put in a little request to have it done online at the Grand Terrace City page for concerns, and it takes forever to get a response, and sometimes they say it's closed and nothing's happened. Currently, there's a lot of trash there, and part of the chain link fencing has been torn apart or torn off, the corner there by the back of the lot. And there's people, going through there, and they leave all their fast food trash and clothes and I don't know what all, but it's really bad. So I just wanted to bring it to the city's attention. I don't know what else I can do. I think I've done all the things that the city has asked me to do as a resident, so I'm really asking for your support with that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. City Manager, you could follow up on that, please?
Certainly, that's private property, and we've already
You already
contacted the owner.
Contact the owners?
Yeah, we'll see what kind of response we get out of them.
Okay, thank you.
No more public comments, sir.
Okay. All right, go ahead and close public comment. Special presentation. No, she doesn't. That was only a public comment, right?
The other public comment is for item 7 under consent, so we're not there yet.
Okay. So can I have Susan Van Campton come down to the podium, please? Hello.
Hi.
I'm going to go ahead and read this proclamation, then I'd like to have you speak a few words, and then we'll take some pictures, and if the council has any questions, I'll ask you a question, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, well, today is whereas the City of Grand Terrace like to do a proclamation for Donated Life Month, and whereas organ, eye, tissue, marrow, and blood donations are life-giving acts recognized worldwide and expressions of compassion for those in need. Whereas more than 110,000 individuals nationwide and more than 23,000 in California are currently on the national organ transplant waiting list. On an average, 22 people die each day while waiting. Whereas we need to donate organs, and especially urgent Hispanic, Latino, and African American communities. Whereas a single individual donation of a heart, lung, liver, kidneys, pancreas, and small intestines can save up to 8 lives in American communities. Whereas donating of tissue can save and heal the lives of more than 75 others. Whereas organ donors saved more than 46,000 lives last year, the most ever. Whereas any person can register to be an organ donor, organ, eye, and tissue donor, regardless of age or medical conditions. Whereas being registered a donor does not impact the quality of life, saving medical care a person receives an emergency. Whereas California residents can sign up for Donate Life California donor register online at any time by visiting www.donatelifecalifornia.org or Spanish-speaking www.vidacalifornia.org. Whereas California residents can sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor when applying for or renewing the driver's license or ID cards at the California Department of Motor Vehicles. Whereas the California residents interested in saving a life throughout living kidney donation may visit www.livingdonationcalifornia.org. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Bill Hussey, Mayor of the City of Grand Terrace, along with my fellow council members, proclaim the month of April 2024 as DMV Donated Life Month in the City of Grand Terrace, and is doing so. We encourage all Californians to check yes online when applying and renewing their driver's license or ID card, presented this day, April 9th, 2024. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We really appreciate it. My husband and I have lived in Grand Terrace probably 35 years or thereabouts, and I'm actually the trifecta of donation. About the time when we moved to Grand Terrace, unfortunately, I got in what seemed like a small car accident, but it caused me to end up with a spinal graft. So I have an allograft spinal from somebody who donated, and at that time I didn't even realize or think much about where it came from. But unfortunately, my family also has polycystic kidney disease, and so I became a living donor to my father. And unfortunately, again, he didn't survive. So we were able to, or we got to be a donor family because we donated his corneas, which if you don't die while you're on some type of life support, you can't donate your organs. You can only donate them if you terminate some type of life support. So we were only able to donate his corneas at that point in time. So it's very important because we have many people, like we say, that die every day. Or you might see some rocks we placed around town supporting Donate Life, because we're trying to, this spring, just to bring more information to the public to make them aware of the importance of it. Again, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Council have any questions? No? Well, I have a comment, like we talked before, I also
Right.
have cadaver bones in my neck, sometimes I can't turn this way, that's why you guys are, but it is, something tragic can be life-saving for somebody else on that donation card. And,
Well, and I think it helps people. I know many, many donor families. It kind of helps a little bit in coping with your loss when you can see that somebody else benefited. There was some reason for it.
yes.
So,
Well, it's a true blessing when you can save somebody else's life, so.
yeah.
Well, if you can, join us up here and we can take a picture. All right, we have another proclamation of recognition for Child Abuse Prevention Month. Proclamation, Hillary. So I'll go ahead and read this, and we'll let you say any words you want to say, and, So whereas April 2024 has proclaimed Child Abuse Prevention Month by the state and federal government for the purpose of promoting community involvement and preventing child abuse. All children have the right to receive the care, protection, and guidance that the family provides. They have the right to be free from harm and to have their physically, emotional, and educational needs met. And whereas just over 31,000 children in San Bernardino County were referred in the year 2023 to the Children and Family Services for suspect child abuse and neglect. Children Assessment Center, Children and Family Services, social workers, public health nurses, law enforcement officers, educators, behavioral health clinics, and others in the field are dedicated, compassionate, and skilled individuals working under enormous pressure to protect children and to prevent the children. Abuse requires rigorous solutions, energy, strength, determination, commitment on the part of concerned citizens in the community. Whereas protective factors are conditions to reduce and eliminate the risk and promote the social, emotional, and developmental well-being of children. And whereas affected children abuse prevention activities succeed because of partnerships created between the Children's Network and the Children's Fund and the partnerships with the Children and Family Services, Department of Public Health, First Five, San Bernardino Community Action Partnerships, County Superintendent of Schools, Sheriff's Department, Children's Care Planning Council, Department of Behavioral Health, Preschool Services Department, County Library, Arrowhead Regional Medical Centers, Children's Assessment Center, Loma Linda University, Children's Hospital, and the County Fire Department. And whereas the blue ribbon is an international symbol for the children's abuse prevention, the Children's Network has planned the Blue Ribbon Media Campaign educational materials distributed the 25th Annual Shine a Light and Child Abuse Prevention Awards ceremony to increase awareness of the children's abuse during the month of April. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Bill Hussey, the mayor of City of Grand Terrace, along with my fellow council members, proclaim the month of April 2024 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Grand Terrace. Future the members of the council encourage citizens to participate in events that join in efforts to end child abuse, presented this 9th day of April 2024. Hillary,
Yeah, thank you, City of Grand Terrace, for joining us in declaring April Child Abuse Prevention Month. We do what we can at the city and all the departments coming together, and it's reactive, and we try to help the kids out, but that's usually after they're identified. So really, the community is the eyes and ears of the families and looking out for these kids, and we need that brought to our attention so we can support families when they're needed. So I just want to remind everyone that you can report suspected neglect or child abuse anonymously by calling the Child Abuse Hotline, which is 1-800-827-8724. In San Bernardino County, we also have an initiative with 211 that you can call 211 because that's easier to remember. Push 6, and then you can also anonymously report child abuse and get families the help they need. As the state of California is moving away from mandated reporting and into community supporting model, they really are striving to get families the help they need, keep families together, keep children at home with their parents when concerns are things like housing, food scarcity, and things like that, where if we do get them help, families can stay together. And so we need you to report that so we can assist families and kids. So thank you.
thank you. And so pardon to turn somebody in and saying that the people are afraid to say something, are they immune from that? If it, if they come back and the investigation was wrong or something? Because I know a lot of people get afraid.
Yeah, it's a huge concern, and that's why we always mention it. It can be anonymous. If you're a mandated reporter by work, so if you're a teacher or counselor, you may be mandated in that situation to report your name so that they can contact you for further information. But if it's a neighbor or if you're outside of your working situation, you can be anonymous, and so they won't even ask your name if you don't want to give it. You can just say you have a concern, you're not sure what's going on, but this is the address, this is kind of what you saw, or kids you're worried about, and it won't come back to you. They won't even take your name, so they can't tell the parents, because especially with neighbors and things like that, family situations, that's a big concern, that you don't want to break that relationship, as you might be the strongest support for that kid. And so that's why you can report anonymously.
So what kind of resources are available for the parents who are abusing the children so the family could be whole again?
If the child is in immediate physical harm, then they'll be removed, and then a social worker will look at each parent's situation and find out what's the safest route to get the family together. If they're just in need of resources, and there is a new family resource center being built for the county by CFS, which is exciting news. It'll be one of the first in the state. But right now we have our different resource centers that we can refer families out to for different housing needs, food needs, connect them with preschool services. The child support resource center, the child care resource center too, if they can't get a job because they don't have child care. There's a bunch of funding that they just might not be aware of, so they can rise their family out of the situation that they're in without the need to remove the kids.
All right, thank you. Council have any questions? All right, well, if you could join us up here for a picture. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to item D, consent calendar. The following consent calendar items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the city council any time without discussion. Any council member, staff member, or citizens may request removal of an item for the consent calendar for discussion. Do you guys have any requests?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pull number 4 for clarification only.
Okay, and I'd like to have a poll 7 for clarification too. So 4 and 7 are polled, so we need a motion and a second for 1 through 3 and 5 and 6.
I'll move those items on the consent calendar, 1 through 3,
And 5 and 6.
5, and 6.
Second.
Do you have any public comment on those items? Madam City
Not
Clerk?
on those items.
City Attorney, do you have anything? Okay, please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, item 4 for clarification.
In the staff report, it said that the beer garden would be at the event, and it would be limited to only people allowed in the area would be over 21. The individual, the group that's putting this on, they would like to have people under 21 inside the area, however, obviously not be serving them, and then have them, identified as minors. So that is the only clarification on this. Thank you.
So they're going to make sure that nobody under 21 is drinking?
That, yes.
Who's the sergeant of arms doing that?
Don Larkin.
I guess he could pass. Huh? You have a question?
Will they have the wristbands? The 18-year-olds?
Don can speak to the actual procedures.
Councilor Henderson and Councilor Allen. Oh, same question?
Don Larkin, the president for Grand Terrace Lions Club, and thank you for this opportunity to clarify some things. First of all, I just want to mention the fact that back in last September, we had an Oktoberfest at the Professional Plaza. And we wanted that really to be kind of see how things would go. We wanted to have a safe, fun event, and it was. And we wanted to make sure that that happens in the future too. Sometimes a misconception, and we found this out, is that there's no ABC restriction, okay, as far as a one-day charitable organization license like we're getting as having 21 and older, okay? Blue Mountain Festival is a family event, and we do want an opportunity, if a family comes, they get food from the food vendor, wants to go over, when the parents want to have a beer or something, the children would be there. We will have wristbands identifying, we'll check IDs, okay, to make sure that, everybody who is served or drinking beer or whatever will be, carded, and we'll be monitoring the area closely, just like we did in the Oktoberfest. And it worked very well. It also makes it more of a family event. Instead of a bunch of people just sitting around drinking, it makes it far more enjoyable. Any other questions that you have?
Any questions? Anything else? No? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So any questions and clarification? Do I have a motion and a second?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Henderson, second by Councilman Allen. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously, and there were no public comments for that item,
Oh, I forgot that.
for the record.
So we have a public comment for 7.
Yes, sir.
You want to bring them up now before we go into anything?
I believe we have to have the staff report first.
Oh, okay, we could do that. We usually don't have public comments on consent calendar, so it's throwing me off.
Occasionally we do.
All right, can we get a staff report?
So,
on
yeah,
7?
the Riverside Unified School District passed a bond initiative in 2007 relating to the construction in High Grove of new homes. Part of that initiative required that there are infrastructure improvements in the city of Grand Terrace relating to impacts from those homes. So they have to be traffic and circulation related and addressing traffic and circulation needs. Out of those proceeds, the city gets about $350,000 from that bond. And our intention is to first determine if there is a warrant and then design and install traffic signals at Mount Vernon and Van Buren Street and Mount Vernon and Pico Street. I've driven those the last couple of, watching the paving projects the last couple of mornings, and those are busy, busy intersections. So we think, we'll see what the warrant says, but we think that it is, that they're needed, they'll help. Certainly, they will be synchronized so that we're not hitting every red light as part of that design process to synchronize the signals. But this is a request for the warrant and the design of those signals. Thank you.
Council, any questions? Councilman Allen?
Did we do a traffic study to support this? And in that traffic study, what were the options that were looked at for those intersections? And was there a final determination made that traffic signals are the solution to the perceived problem?
So the first step of the design process is to determine if there's a warrant, which is the traffic study to decide, is there actually a need for a signal? Or are there other ways that we can manage that traffic? And then if in that initial study, the design process, we come up and say we don't need signals, then we have to find some other mechanism to expend this money on transportation needs along that corridor. But the study is part of this.
Okay, great. So they're going to do a complete study of those intersections. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy about the study. Traffic is worse, and then my biggest fear is people crossing the street over there, especially going to the middle school. So hopefully we'll come up with a positive warrant on this and move forward on it. So, Madam City Clerk, do we have a public comment on 7? Oh, I'm sorry. Ken Henderson, do you have a question? Oh, comment.
Okay. Jenna Slocum, please.
Hi again, it's Jenna Slocum. I had some concerns, or just want to know more information about the study, and will we get results of that study as residents? Some of my concerns are, well, first of all, I want to say thank you for looking at that area, because I know there's a lot of speeding in that area, and it's pretty crazy, especially, after work hours. But I also have wondered if you guys have considered alternative things instead of stoplights, for example. And don't everybody groan at me, but I've been in other communities where they have roundabouts in neighborhoods such as that really slows it down. It's a lot less expensive to put into place there than the lights and the maintenance for that. So I just want to know if you had considered that. I also wanted you to consider how, if it is the street lights, or sorry, that traffic signals do go in, will they be automatically set to green until they're triggered by Pico or Van Buren? And will that be a green light all the way to Riverside? And I think that, because we already have problems with speeding, I'm afraid that may increase the speeding instead of reducing it. So that was just my concerns and my questions I had. So I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see about the study. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any other public comment?
No other public comments, sir.
Can I address those real quick?
Go ahead.
Those are good questions. We did look at roundabouts. Roundabouts typically take a bigger footprint than a regular square intersection. So to get a roundabout to work and keep the 4 lanes of traffic both ways, we'd have to take one of the houses on the corner and have an offset. So unless somebody that lives on that corner is volunteering, we're going to keep working towards the signal. And then as the signal design goes in, yeah, they're traffic engineers. They work on the pattern and how the timing is and whatever lights up together. Thank you.
Thank you. No other public comment? Ken Henderson, you had a comment? Councilman Henderson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to comment on, I support the study. I drive through the intersection of Mount Vernon and Van Buren often, and it always surprises me how few drivers understand the right-of-way rules for a 4-way intersection. And so anyone that uses that intersection on a regular basis has to look in every direction to ensure their own safety and the safety of others. So I'm looking forward, hoping that the warrants for that particular intersection are met and we can proceed with the planning and implementation as contemplated by the item on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a comment? Go ahead, Councilman Earl. Go ahead.
What a breath of fresh air to have somebody who also believes in that, how efficient a traffic circle roundabout can be. I lived in a lot of different places that use them very effectively, and they're very great at traffic management, and I don't understand why we can't put one there, because I've seen some roundabouts in some pretty tiny places. Because I used to live in Europe, you know, and everything over there is small when it comes to streets, city streets. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you very much for that. You know, there's not a lot of people who are very open-minded about it. So I really would like to see that included in the traffic study, the actual, somebody say, you know.
Okay, no public comments, no other things. City Attorney, do you have anything to add? I didn't demote you, I'm looking at Deborah and I said City Clerk, I was looking at. All right, do I have a motion and a second for item 7?
I will move item 7.
All right.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Allen, second by Councilman Henderson. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right. Item E, public hearings, none. Item F, unfinished business, none. New business, none. Item H, future agenda items. At this time, the city council may propose items for discussions and/or actions at the further duly agenda. City council meeting consensus of the majority of the quorum is required to place an item on the future agenda. So, Councilman Allen, you have a...
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I would like to propose a future agenda item for the next meeting as a motion to reconsider the future agenda item we had from the previous meeting.
And what was that future agenda item?
The future agenda item we had at the previous meeting was the motion put forward by Councilmember Henderson that I seconded, which was a resolution on the the Israeli-Palestinian Gaza issue.
So you want to pull your second?
No, it's a motion to reconsider.
Reconsider.
That's according to Robert's rules. And our council procedures also is the, you want to make a statement, explain how it works?
Yes, so a motion to reconsider must be heard or must be raised at the same meeting that the vote is taken, or under our rules at the next following meeting. So he's raising it as a motion to reconsider the action taken, which was to do the resolution.
And if I get a second, then we can at the next meeting we can discuss why, or I mean, I don't think.
So basically, we would agendize a motion reconsideration.
Right.
Because it's not on the agenda tonight, we can't have that motion tonight, but we will formally agendize it the next meeting, again, if we get a majority to bring it back.
So will the other meeting be agendized too, or that's dead?
I guess we'll do them together is what he's saying.
Okay.
I didn't hear your answer.
He's saying we would do them together.
Yeah, but it just makes sense to have the two items on the same agenda versus bringing one forward and then a motion to reconsider after the item has been heard, or to delay your item to a future meeting as we reconsider. It just makes sense to do them both together.
I just was wondering how that worked technically when you asked for a motion to reconsider for an item that's yet to be placed on the agenda.
Well, it's a motion to reconsider an item that was on a previous agenda that we voted on.
I'm sorry, but the item was not on the agenda. The item was approved for a future agenda, but it was not on the last agenda. It was for a future agenda item, which is supposed to come before the council at the next regular meeting. So from Robert's Rules perspective and from a technical perspective, I'm not sure that you can ask for reconsideration on an item that's yet to be placed on the agenda.
I mean, that's a fair point. I think the way that the rules read is it's the vote of the council, and the vote of the council was to bring the action back or bring the item back for discussion. And so if he wants to reconsider that vote, that would be what's brought back.
I think it's appropriate for both issues to be placed on the agenda at the same time, and I think that's would be best for the council and best for the community.
That is my intention, to have both of them at the same time.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and second Councilman Allen's motion. Do you have anything else to add on that?
No, I do not.
All right, please vote.
Motion passes with council members Henderson, Allen, and Mayor Hussey voting yes. Mayor Pro Tem Wilson abstains.
Okay, City Council Communications. Councilmember Henderson?
Nothing to report, sir.
All right. Councilman Allen?
Well, I just want to make sure that everyone knows that tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, is the Grand Terrace Chamber of Commerce meeting. Be at 8 a.m. at Woody's down on Mount Vernon. And at that meeting, we will also be, at the end of the meeting, we will be honoring or celebrating, giving an award to the 3B's Boutique, who has been selected as Business of the Month. And so they will be there to receive their award. And I'm sure you're going to talk about Advanced Auto Part. Okay. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Mayor. As you know, I was appointed to attend the March 28th, 2024 annual shareholders meeting for Riverside Highland Water Company. At that meeting, it was called to order by the President McNaboe. They verified a quorum, and then they had an introduction of incumbent directors by the President, the introduction of shareholders present, and then introduction of management by the President. Reading and approval of the minutes of March 23rd, 2023 were done by the Administrative Manager Gimple. The report aspect of this meeting, which is very important to us, of course, is that the Water District is solvent. They have added 2,000 additional water services in the last year. And this year marks 18 years in succession of no injuries on the job. The condition of the company obviously is solvent, and it is excellent. Their percentage of leakage is down below the state mandate, which is that state mandate is about 10%, and we're in the direction of 4%. To give it a little bit of an example, the leakage at one point when I talked to Mr. McKeever, who used to be the president of the Water District, at a juncture, because it was a lot of old irrigation pipe and so on that had to be replaced, there was leakage percentage in the 20s. So they've really made a lot of progress in the last 5 to 10 years. There were presentation of service pins, one to Brian Denman for 5 years, presentation of service pin for Jeff Jeffers for 20 years of service. General Manager gave his report about capital upgrades that were scheduled for 2023, and those have been completed. Some of the plans for 2024 were meter replacements. Both reservoirs are going to be coated. Lytle Creek number 8 pump is going to be worked on. They've got, as you know, recently, in fact, last Saturday, we had a blowout up at the top of DeBerry, and that was caused by, in some respects, by just normal wear and tear, but also vibratory roller running across that area. The pipe was deep. It was at least 6 feet deep, but transite pipe, which is what was used in the completion and was legal at the time, I remember because I put it in, it has a tendency to, over time, to not hold up as well as it could, and in this case, it cracked down the center line of the pipe, and about 300,000 gallons of water went down that street. but the district jumped into the fray and got things patched up. They're in the process of making repairs in concert with the paving company to that paving area as it bulked the pavement pretty substantially, as you can imagine what 300,000 gallons of water would do. The conservation, their conservation efforts have been excellent with the Santa Ana River. There's been $93 million contributed by the three agencies to over-excavate some of the areas of the basins to catch the water. Agua Manza Main is programmed to be replaced this year. And that was among some of the major items. Shareholders' comments and questions were entertained, not too many, and then approval by shareholders of the actions of the board and management for 2023 was held, and there was a nomination election for three of the directors who were all incumbents, Wendell Baker, George Sanders, and Bert Sulmazian, and they were upheld as and nominated and elected to new two-year terms, and or maybe it was 4-year. Anyway, I'm sorry, and they adjourned the meeting. So it was a productive meeting, and it was excellent for the opportunity to be there and to act as a liaison for the city in relation to items that are very important to us in this desert community. That's all I have, Mayor.
Well, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for attending that meeting. Did
Mr.
you
Mayor,
ask?
if I might, I just have a question for Mr. Wilson.
Go ahead.
Sir, did you receive any sense that your membership representing the city of Grand Terrace might be favorably considered by the board at some point in time in the future?
Not at this point, so far. They don't seem to have an allowance other than their regular elections, but I do know that there are a couple of positions that are coming up that might, make it possible, and I think further negotiations with the Water District are definitely something that could be entertained so that maybe we could make a tighter bridge. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I concur that the relationship between the water company and the city is, got to be hand in hand, one-on-one, working together. And like you said, those, Murphy's Law, we fix something and something breaks. So, just got to keep going. On about the 3,000 gallons per minute flow. That's a lot of water to flow down there. I wonder if the water company's getting billed to go out of their tier for that. Do they? No? All right, well, thank you, Doug, for doing that, going there. The only comment I have is I just want to remind businesses, and we appreciate your business here in Grand Terrace and everything you do, but when you go to celebrate, make sure you get a special events permit and talk to your neighbors, the neighboring businesses, because unfortunately, when I'm walking by, I can't turn a blind eye. I got to say something, because the next thing will be like, well, the mayor came through here. So please make sure you get your special events permit and do what's right. And just if you have any questions, just come and talk to somebody at City Hall. All right? Because we want you guys to celebrate. We are happy that you get anniversary or business is doing well, but just do the right thing and for all the businesses that are located by you. Okay. We'll close City Council Communications. City Manager.
Yeah, real quick too, on Councilmember Allen's comment, Advanced Auto Part is having their grand opening tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So please join us for the ribbon cutting and the festivities. And actually, one of the things that Advanced really did early on with us with the Sheriff's Department is they got a bunch of gift certificates, issued them to the officers, and I don't know if they've given them all out or not yet, but when you get the Fix-It ticket, you'll still get the Fix-It ticket, but you get a gift certificate to actually buy the part to fix it. So Advance has really been helpful in that respect, and they're going to be a great contribution to the community. I do want to apologize and thank the community for dealing with all of the pavement and traffic issues that we've caused in the last week. We paved in front of the high school, Barton Road, in front of the junior high, or the elementary school. It was challenging, And I really appreciate the residents working with us on that. We got one more pass when it comes time to stripe the roads, but that shouldn't be quite as intrusive. And I think, for a couple days of pain and suffering, we've really got a good product out of that. And then finally, as the mayor and the Councilmember Wilson brought up, we had the water blowout. Those things happen as part of paving projects with the vibration and older pipes. And I want to thank the water district, their staff and their field people. They were on that thing at 1 o'clock in the morning and took care of it. We're here very first thing in the morning when we opened to talk to us and make sure that we were on board, and we're working together with them to resolve that and do it in a way that's cost effective for both organizations and does the right thing. So I really want to thank them too. Thank you.
Thank you. Lieutenant Lane, do you know if they gave out any of those gift cards?
No, I haven't heard yet. I'll need to follow up on that.
Because my gas gauge isn't working on my truck, and I need one of those gift cards for a fix-it ticket.
AAA.
All right. Well, that's a good thing that they're doing, so. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to recess the closed session. Before we do, remember, we're honoring Jacqueline Smith during this meeting. Longtime resident, sort of a celebrity. And I'll never forget when Veterans Day, when she built out the national anthem. That was beautiful. And her husband, Jimbo, what he used to call Grand Terrace, Grand Chalache, whatever. And then, but you know what? Prayers for Tim, and Jimbo, you rock, as he would always say. But just thank you, and our prayers are with you. So we're going to go in closed session. We're going to conference with labor negotiators, pursue the government code, section 5495, 7.6. City Attorney, you have anything to say add on to that? Okay, closed session, and thank you everybody for coming. God bless.
It's not working, that's right, it's bullpen.
All right, we're going to reconvene to open session. We had a conference with labor negotiation, pursue the government code, and section 5495, 7.6. City Attorney, you have anything to add on that?
No, that update was provided, direction was provided to the staff, however, no reportable action.
All right. So, like I said, we're honoring this council meeting for Jacqueline Smith, Jimbo's wife, Grand Terrace resident, celebrity, and we just wish that family all the best. So we're going to go ahead and adjourn to the next regular city council meeting. Will be held Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. Any request to have the item placed on future agenda must be made in writing and submitted to the city clerk's office. Thank you.